guys, welcome back to Vincefield Custom. So today I'm sharing with you a Police Officer Jessica Rabbit custom statue that was a 3D print from Esmonster. And from there, we printed out the nude version. And this was one of the characters that won in the Patreon votes that we pulled out of a hat that we did a police officer. Now this one was a little couple extra steps than the other two. We did a nun and the Star Trek version. This one's a little bit more involved because we got Roger printed on the base for this one. So a little couple extra steps, we'll kind of go over it. But the Esmonster Jessica Rabbit is probably the best one out there on the market, I think, right now. The only thing I wish, which I had to do, is I gave her a bigger booty and bigger chest. I think that they just kind of missed the mark on the anatomy. They did a little bit of... It's sort of like an animated head with a little bit of a realistic body. So I kind of wish that they gave maybe the legs thicker, but a little bit thinner ankles and calf muscles. But it works, though, for what we did. So what I did is I took in the waist a little bit more, and I gave her more of that hourglass look, and it worked out pretty good. We'll kind of go over all the stuff, but this is basically a Patreon choice. And the way Patreon works is it's just basically supporting me in my YouTube streams. Instead of asking for donations or tips throughout the stream, people could support monthly. And then what I try to do is I try to give all my supporters, like, you know, voices or, like, you know, what to vote on the next character or elements and stuff like this. But, and then what I'm going to try to do with these Jessica Rabbits, because I did the police officer, the Star Trek, and the nun, is the Patreons get first dibs at these items. So it's going to be like a silent auction. The idea is just basically whatever I put into the item, you know, for 3D printing, and then also all the custom work. That's kind of like how I will go about this. And then I'll just do a silent auction, and whoever wants to offer more money or, you know, the base price, it goes from there. If not, then it goes on eBay. It's a little bit of a trial error run with this, and we'll see how it goes. I'm just trying different things with the Patreon because it's not an STL file, and it's a one of a kind, and that's what I do. So I can't give everybody a copy of this because that's just not the way it's going to work. But we'll see how things go. But we'll kind of break this down and everything. So if you go back and you watch my live streams, the re-uploads on YouTube, you could kind of see how this all progressed. So this is the nude version of Jessica Rabbit. And from there, like I said, what I did is I gave her a bigger chest, smaller waist, and then I gave her a little bit bigger hips and booty. And then I sculpted all the elements of the police officer. And then also we got Roger Rabbit on the base. So we'll kind of start down at the bottom and we'll go from there. So the idea is that she's arresting Roger. He just got, like, you know, it's like a bank heist, and he just got caught. So this is a Roger Rabbit from another 3D file, and that's the cool thing about 3D files now is you can take an element from this statue and an element from that statue, print them in scale, and you could put them onto a base and you can work them in together. So if you don't like the Jessica Rabbit head, but you like a different head from another statue, you can kind of swap them out. And this Roger was a great sculpt, but the Jessica that came with this Roger, I wasn't kind of a fan, but this is a really great Roger. So the idea is we printed him out, we reworked his hands, we printed out one of the guns, because this is a gun from, like, the movie 2 as well. You can find that 3D file. And then what I did is I sculpted the lines around his outfit to make it look like he was in jail. So he just got, like, out of jail, and he's going to rob a bank, and he just got caught. So what I did is I sculpted the eyes looking up at the handcuffs, and kind of tilted his head a bit too as well. So that's kind of the idea of all that. And I wanted to give him like that older 1920s type of like outfit look. So I kind of did this, like, you know, dark bluish kind of old you know, prisoner's outfit. But afterwards it didn't look right, so we kind of yellowed it up. And then what we did is we sculpted a money bag here. This is kind of like a throwback to DuckTales, where I guess like DuckTales, that's what everyone was saying. They had like brown money bags with like the gold money sign on it. That's kind of what we did with that. So he is sort of removable. He comes off the base. This comes off the base, and his head is removable as well as her arms are removable. So we'll kind of go up to her a little bit more. So as you can see right here, what I did was I gave her, we kept the shoes and everything, but the idea was for her to have stockings, you know, like a pantyhose type look. So that's kind of what we did with that. And I sculpted the skirt, and I like the way these sculpt skirts. If you look under here, you'll definitely see the booty, so it's not like just like flat underneath of there. And you can see it's really tight and taut around there as well. And then we sculpted the belt, you know. And over here, instead of her having a gun, we gave her a carrot. So each of these Jessica Rabbits I did the police officer, the Star Trek, and the nun. So each of them have a carrot in their item. So it's like I don't know really if he, like, Roger was like a carrot eating character. I don't really remember him from the movie eating carrots, but the idea is just like he's a bunny rabbit, so maybe he likes carrots. So instead of her having guns or weapons, it's a carrot. Now, this handcuffs is actually from the Pop Culture Shock Poison statue, as well as the hat too on her. So I utilized these handcuffs from another item, so that's kind of the idea. So this hand is a different hand, but I repositioned this arm to make it look like she's holding the handcuffs on him, saying, "Look, I got you. You're being arrested." So, and then we found some police officer type of outfits where it's kind of like a police officer top, but it's really tight and you can see her cleavage. So we really wanted to go a little bit extreme on that. And this, what I did is we tilted her head down for this one. I kind of tilted her head and cracked it to make it look like she's looking over her chest downward. So she's looking down here to the handcuffs and he's looking at the handcuffs. So it's kind of like their eyes are almost looking at this area here. That's kind of the point. So, and then this hat is actually the poison hat too from Pop Culture Shock. So I utilized this hat as well onto the item and I re-sculpted this hair too. So I wanted to give her more of a, you know, an animated look hair. So that's kind of what we did with that. I sculpted the badge on the hair too. It's kind of like a carrot as well. You can kind of see it's like a little bit of a carrot symbol. So, and then you can see it's just all painted up and everything. So this is actually acrylic paints. This was a suggestion from the streams to try these types of paints. So that's the idea about the streams too. It's about experimenting as well with some projects. It's kind of hard to throw a lot of money into these items because, you know, you're paying for the 3D print, you're paying for the sculpt, you're putting time into it. So it's like you got to at least kind of can't go overboard because when you go, because these are to go up to sale, get the money from the next one and then start the next batch. So it's kind of like keep going with each stream, keep going with each project, that the next project funds that project. So that's kind of like the idea behind it all. So you could go crazy with 3D prints. You could print all kinds of stuff. You could print out weapons, guns, like the cartoon car, probably, you know, that they're, and make it like a police officer car. You could do all kinds of stuff, but it's just, you can only go so far. So that's kind of what we did on that. And after that, it's just painted up. So, you know, a little bit of a shiny pantyhose, a little bit of a darker bottom that's kind of silky. The top is more of a cleaner blue cut top on her. And then that, and for the base, I just did a basic marble green base. You know, you could actually do, if you really wanted to, like I said, you could take things so far that you could put a big safe behind her and also like a floor, and you can make it look like it's a jail cell too, or like a big safe, or like Rogers in the, you know, bank or something. So there's so much you could do with these items, but we're only going so far with more museum poses. That's kind of the idea with these, so you have enough room to display them. So that is the police officer. Now, the way I'm working these, it's like, this is the first time experiment, I'm saying in my other two videos with the Nun and Star Trek, is this is a Patreon supporters crack at them. So it's going to be sort of a silent auction. This is what we came up with on the streams. So the idea is I'm going to price these out as what I would charge for a custom and also how much I paid to get them 3D printed, because that's kind of the way a lot of my commissions work, is people purchase an item and they send it to me, and then they charge them for the commission fee to work on it. So it's like you're still paying for the item and the commission fee plus shipping. And then it's going to be like a silent auction. Basically, I post it on Patreon. Anybody who's interested could send me an offer saying I'm interested in it, or I would offer this much more plus shipping, and then go from there. And if nobody really wants to buy it with the prices, they end up on eBay. I don't think it's really fair to throw it right up on eBay right away, only because you're giving a lot more people a chance to do it, which means, yes, it's probably might be more money in my pocket, but I'm trying to like give the supporters a little bit of a crack who are willing to support me each month and just to keep the streams going and projects. So it's experimental. We'll see how it goes. Whoever does end up with this, congratulations. Hopefully anybody who was in the streams, thank you for coming into the streams and, you know, kind of talking over everything, planning stuff out, giving me feedback, and just kind of enjoying and shooting the shit, basically. But that is the police officer arresting Roger Rabbit. Pretty straightforward. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos.